Morning, guys. We're going to have another day of defending Elvis Presley today. This one obviously is concerning Priscilla Presley, this 1985 interview with Terry Wogan. So the book has just come out. Terry Wogan, the British interviewer, journalist, has got some serious questions to ask. Let's look together at the answers that are very beautiful. Priscilla Presley is giving. What do you think, guys? Put it in the comments. Do you agree with the decision that she made to write the book, to leave Elvis? Let's have a little look through and then we'll add some comments through the video.
A movie. Elvis Presley plays the second half of a riverboat partnership consisting of Frank and Johnny.
She's not here tonight either. She's now going to drop a gracious word or two my way on Friday by way of satellite. However, at this very moment, even as we speak, by these very self-same means, we wing our way to Denver, Hollywood, home of Carringtons and Colbys. If you scoff in disbelief tonight, try scoffing in disbelief. Go on. Scoff, scoff, scoff. On Wednesday week, Priscilla was there, but I wasn't here. Last Wednesday I was here, but she wasn't there. Tonight, we're all here, if we're not all there. And in a scant moment, Game Priscilla will be winging her way into your homes by satellite. Let me keep you on further tender hooks by telling you that the music tonight comes from the ether with our first guest, before she disappears in me again. In one bound then, to Hollywood. And Dallas's Jenna Wade, otherwise known as Priscilla Beaulieu Presley. By the miracle of television, there you sit, looking like a Hollywood goddess.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's 8 years now, Priscilla, since Elvis died, as you know, and you've carved out a successful career for yourself as an actress, particularly on Dallas. So why did you think it worthwhile to regurgitate the whole Elvis thing in a book?
Actually, Terry, it's not something that I wanted to do. It's only because his past kept coming up, and there's been a lot of questions about him as a person. There's been a lot of other books that were written. A lot of them did not do him justice in any way. And I felt that it was my duty to take responsibility to hopefully put everything back into perspective. It's just something that I felt I had to do. I didn't want what was written already to go down as history.
And we're going to be doing a live stream today covering many of these points. Almost her admitting that she was going to rewrite history, change history with her book. Guys, it worries me that somebody had this amount of influence and power to literally change how all of the fans around the world of Elvis Presley saw Elvis as a human being, saw his life, this book, through the eyes of Priscilla Presley. It's very worrying.
But do you think it helped the perspective to reveal so many intimate details of your life together?
Oh, I don't think I revealed any intimate details as much as what I was doing is putting it back into perspective. I keep going back to that because obviously all the other stories that have been going around, the rumors for all these years, the books for all these years, for the past 8 years, in fact, have blown everything out of perspective. And in my book, if you read it in its fullest, it speaks for itself. There is nothing in there that I feel, whoops, I think this is coming out, that I feel is very, it's just putting it back into perspective and making him a very normal person.
But he doesn't come through as a normal person in the book.
He doesn't?
Well, no,
well, normal.
Because,
just 1 second.
For instance...
I got it, okay.
Good girl. For instance, I mean, you didn't have, you slept together but didn't have any sex together for something like 6 years.
Well, what's normal? What's normal? I mean, that was years ago. That was tradition, wasn't it? I mean...
But then in the book...
I think today what's happening is more abnormal than that.
Yes, but in the book you've also said that, for instance, after you had your first child, he wouldn't have sex with you because you were a mother.
Well, I
But
think I
that's not
explained that in
normal,
the
is
book.
it? Yeah.
No, but I think I explained that. I don't think he should be condemned. Sorry, this thing. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, you're coming through loud and clear.
Okay, I don't think he should be condemned for something like that. I mean, we all have problems. We have personal problems that, thank God we're in the 80s today and we can discuss them and talk about them. You have to remember we're dealing with the 60s. It was very difficult to communicate certain, let's say, insecurities or problems that we've lived with for many years. This is the 80s, and we're fortunate to have it, and I think we're much more communicative than we were back in those days.
Elvis fans, though, do feel and have expressed the feeling that you've been very disloyal in the book.
Right, I understand that, and I feel, I don't feel that way. I mean, I don't think many of the people here in the United States feel that way. The book has been #1 for 5 weeks. My daughter has read the book, in fact, not just once, but 3 times, and absolutely is ecstatic over it. And
So from a defending Elvis point of view, does anyone here for a second think that Lisa Marie Presley would have been ecstatic over the things that were put in that book, knowing what we know? Does anyone even believe that Lisa read the book 3 times? She tries to validate the book by saying that her daughter liked the book, loved the book. I have to disagree, guys. Please leave it in your comments. Do you honestly believe that Lisa liked the book Elvis and Me?
puts, again, everything back into perspective. I think it's very painful what's been happening over there. It's not like that here. Have you read the book, Terry?
Yes, I have.
And do you feel that it's a disloyalty? I think that it makes him a human being. It makes him very sensitive. It makes him a person that one can deal with, and not this idol or this robot. I think it was. If people want to know what happened, it's in the book, and that's exactly what happened. I don't think I was harsh with him by any means. I dealt with it very sensitively. It's 4 years that it took for me to write this book, and I'm proud of it. And many people who knew him, the family and the men who lived with us at that time I've had nothing but great validations for it.
I've had nothing but great validations for it. I'm sorry, guys. Does anyone believe this for a second? It really worries me. It really worries me that this book, that in my opinion, that has done so much harm to Elvis's image and reputation, the way that she fully supports this book. And decades later, the film Priscilla is released by Sofia Coppola, that Priscilla fully supports, that Lisa Marie was against, has been made using the book Elvis and Me. Please leave it in your comments, guys. There's so much strong feeling about the book Elvis and Me. We need to expose the wrongdoing here.
You met Elvis in Germany in 1959. You were 14, and he was 24, and he was already a star. What did he see in you?
What did he see in me? Well, I don't know. What do you see in your wife?
She wasn't 14 when I met her. It's just that as a 14-year-old, it seems extraordinary that he should be attracted to a 14. We can see what he would see in you now as a fully grown, extraordinarily attractive woman. But at 14...
Well, I can't, again, there's eccentricities that go on, too. I mean, I must have attracted something that I brought out in myself, or that was already there naturally, that he liked. I don't think he made a mistake. I don't think I made a mistake. I'm not regretful for that. I don't think it made me a bad person or him a bad person. We're all very normal and very healthy and well, and I don't think anyone should be condemned for that.
When you were 15, your parents allowed you to go and live with him in Graceland.
If you read the...
I did read the book, yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You have a 17-year-old daughter yourself now. Would you let her do that kind of thing, even in these free-living 80s, as you say?
Well, I think we have to... I can't, in general, say no, absolutely not. I think you'd have to take each situation individually. It's not something I would like. No, I wouldn't allow her to all of a sudden go off with someone that I didn't know. But again, this was very difficult for my parents. This was not an easy thing for them. They went through an awful lot, and I put them through an awful lot. I was in love, and there was a lot of calls between the two of us. I faced them and confronted them and said, listen, I'm in love with this man. I already knew what I wanted then, and I wanted to be with him. Now, when you can't, it's difficult to deal with someone who's in love, because that's exactly what they were doing, and they did not want to hurt me in any way. In fact, my parents and I are very close today, and I'm sorry that I put them through so much, because they're wonderful people.
So you don't regret it?
Oh,
looking back?
absolutely not.
There's stories in the book about Elvis's temper, but how he would overreact, perhaps, to television shows he didn't like.
Right. Well, we all have tempers, don't we? I mean, he was able to afford his temper, let's put it that way. I mean, if he were to get upset, I mean, haven't we all felt like that? If we saw something we didn't want, I mean, if we could just take a gun or just kick it and get it out of the way, we would probably all do it, and he would replace it in a second, so...
He used to shoot the television set.
Pardon me?
He shot the television set.
Yes, he did. He did. He shot quite a few television sets.
How did you find over the years that his millions of female fans would react to you? Did you find them antipathetic to you?
You mean the years that I was married?
Yes.
Again, I can't. In general, most of them were very, very good. And then again, you had the select few who were wish they had been in my place and would have done anything to have been in my place. It's a normal event that I guess happens.
Mm. Well, they would have given anything to be in your place, and they obviously didn't understand when you walked out on him in the end.
A great question by Terry Wogan, and it's completely true. People couldn't believe it. Now remember, people didn't know the truth. People didn't know that Priscilla had been so unfaithful. Now, if people had a behind-the-scenes look at what was really going on and Priscilla's wrongdoing, maybe they would have seen it all very differently. So, guys, we have to be careful that we're not being fooled by the lies of Priscilla Presley.
No, I don't think many people could, but it was just a decision that I had to make, and I had to watch out for myself and more or less make the decision for myself. It was difficult. It was not easy. Elvis and I remained good friends even after the divorce. In fact, probably more so than when we were married. We were able to come to each other under different terms and really talk, and that was quite nice.
Does anyone actually believe that? Knowing what we know with the 2 divorce settlements, with the unfaithfulness, does anyone really believe that they were really close, really good friends after she walked out on him and took Lisa Marie away from him, almost bankrupting Elvis on a 2nd divorce settlement that she promised she would never do? Sorry guys, I'm not fooled. Take care guys, hope you enjoyed this.
And what about Dallas? You're happy as in the part of Jenna Wade, are you?
Yes, I am. Jenna is doing well, and I'm very happy. It's been tremendous for me.
Well,
I just,
Doesn't it get
Can you hear
quiet
me?
here? That's the transatlantic
it's awfully
link.
quiet here, too.
Yeah, it's the transatlantic link. We have a gap of a second or two between the time I talk, and so if I interrupt it, of course, Priscilla stops, so it's all my fault. I was going to ask you,
All right.
since we do have Patrick Duffy coming in next week on the show, whether you miss old Bobby at all, do you?
I'll have to admit, I do. Patrick is a very special person. He was wonderful to work with, and I'm thankful that I had him for my first co-star, because he was very understanding that it was my major first role, and very helpful to me.
It's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for talking so frankly to us, and you look absolutely wonderful over all those
Thank you,
thousands of miles on the west coast of the States. Thank you, Priscilla Presley.
Thank you.